Greetings everyone, Slurgical here. 5 pieces of terrain, pack 1. I'm going to be focusing on this color scheme for this terrain. And I have 3 painted variation and 1 unpainted. The unpainted one will be printed in gray PLA, either it's going to be darker gray or lighter gray, depends on what's available and what I have in stock. And those are the 5 pieces of terrain in that set. I'm just going to showcase this painted set. To achieve that effect, I use 5 color scheme. I use a matte brown as base, a linen color, steel gray, yellow oxide, and black. I use the fan brush to get that effect. For the packaging, make sure that you lay down the terrain properly so it doesn't interfere with the lid, like I'm just showing you there. All 5 pieces will fit in there with no problem whatsoever. I have sealed the paint. I put a sealant on top of the paint, so it will be harder to scratch and to get damaged. Also in the bottom I painted it black. The main reason for that is just to have none of those brush stroke of the other colors overlapping underneath and making it ugly. For all the future terrain pack, I will make sure that I try to keep a stock of the same boxes so they can stack like this on top of each other. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let's have a conversation going. And also, if you want to talk on one-on-one and with other people, I have a free Discord you can join. I have a called 3D Store. You can purchase my design. And I have a Patreon, a free Patreon, and a pay Patreon. And also in there, you'll be able to download and purchase some terrain from there. And on Marketplace, on Facebook, I will have a physical 3D printed terrain that I made. So let's go back to the video and see how this was made. Just before showing how it's made from the beginning, I just want to show you a small peek on how it looks like when it's finished to be modeled, just to give you an idea on the complexity and how it looks like at the end and how it starts. As you can see, with the brush I'm just making the lines and the different layers and the different effect on the terrain, just to give you an idea how it looks like. And that's once it's pretty much done. I still have to do some finishing touches, so it's always rotating and playing around, smoothing the surface, and to make sure that I have the final result. I don't really want to have too many low poly shapes, which is like triangles, because everything is based on triangles and little tiny squares. And I don't also want it to be too harsh. So you'll see there's going to be some really sharp corners, and then later on I'm going to be smoothing those corners up. So it's easier to print and it doesn't snag on anything, and it will look more natural once it's smoothed before properly. But before that, I have to make sure that I form the shape that I need. And it's always like a rough draft. Like, you know, when you draw or you make a chart or anything like that, you have a rough draft. In digital modeling, it's pretty much the same thing. As I'm getting more of the result I want, I get into doing the harsher cuts. Now that all the modeling I wanted on that layer of rocks, I'm just doing the harsh cuts that caused by nature, more damages to the rock itself, and it gives a more interesting effect at the end and more realistic as well. Seems I'm doing things quite often backwards, and I don't know if that's because I'm French and then I invert when I go to English, or it could be my brain is broken in some ways and I go backward. So you saw in the beginning of this portion there was all cubes, and once the cubes are placed where I want them to do, I start doing the modeling, and this is the finished product, how it looks like at the end once I'm done. It always seems that I start at the end, like I mentioned, and I finish at the beginning. So like I said, the base is on a hex tile, and then I'm just making cubes, and I'm placing those cubes of different size and different position, so I can get like a roadmap to how those rocks and that piece of terrain is going to be laid out. I don't usually do that, but there's a rock creator in Blender, and so for the rock that fell or the stone that fell that was on the top, I decided to use that automatic rendered pre-made rocks. And every time you make one, they have their own shape. But I can't really work those rocks, so that's why I'm not using that tool that makes those automatic rocks. Since those texture can't really be modified too much on those automatic generated one, I just use it for that purpose, and this is how it looks at the end. Now, since it's finished, let's print it and inspect the printout and how it turns out. I'm just showcasing it now, and once it's printed, I start painting it. I'm not going to show the entire painting process because most people know how to paint, and it's not a tutorial about painting, but this gives you just an idea how I started from the beginning. And here's dog shenanigans. Let's finish this video with dog shenanigans. It's always fun. On the right it's Quantum, and on the left it's Captain Janeway. Well, hope to see you next time on the next video, and don't forget to buy my terrain, whether it's digital files or physical printout, whether it's painted or just blank gray. It's Quantum making that noise.